Hello everyone and welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments and today is Clea Day here on the channel. Clea is not a card that everyone needs to own, but she is a card that I found incredibly fun and strong in quite a variety of shells. We've got the best shell for her, a meme shell that is like an absolute cube thief, and so much more coming for the new card Clea. If you missed what she does, she's a 1/2, and after she permanently gains power, she adds a Flames of the Faltine to your hand. Flames of Faltine is a 1-cost spell that is afflict an enemy card with -3 power. Clea is a pain in the butt to use. She's good, she's okay, she's not great, she's actually kind of frustrating, but if you can get 2 or 3 Flames of Faltine, getting like 3/9 in power that really disrupts your opponent, doesn't take up space on your side of the board, is very, very strong. So far, the best Clea deck by the stats is this deck. This is from our friend Swedish Ninja. Cam best popularized a version of this. It was the Electro Sasquatch deck, which you've probably seen floating around. So, fundamentally, the deck just gets better with Clea. It had an extra spot in it, so that spot becomes Nakia, and then Electra becomes Clea, and now all of a sudden it's just got this extra power package, especially around turn 5, that you can play, and if you can play it on turn 5, you can use all those -1/-3s to get your Sasquatch really, really big. It works very, very well. The creator of the original of this list is at twitch.tv/SweetNinja. Go check him out. This deck needs, the I might be a 1 in Ninja there. Double check that. But either way, go check him out. Really, really nice person. Great player. Low collection level. So he created this deck partially because of that low collection level and was able to really, really grind upward with it. So this deck needs Sasquatch, Gwenpool, and Merlin. Pre-Clea, we had Electra in that spot and Copycat for Nakia, but Copycat's not especially important here. That could be any good 3-drop. Red Guardian could be Rogue or Gladiator. Surge can be Jennifer Kale or Psylocke. Surge is more important than, in my opinion, than Red Guardian here in this instance. Alright, let's go through card by card. So Clea is here. You only have 2 ways to really get Clea buffed. You have Nakia and you have Gwenpool. That's perfectly fine. You're running Electra in the previous version where Electra was sort of useless, just a 1/2 most of the time. Clea can give you that, but with Nakia, a 1/3 that gives you an extra 1/-3. If it takes a Gwenpool hit, you're happy to play a 1/4 with that extra energy. You often just have that sort of extra energy sitting around. You don't feel the need to play her either. You're fine just sitting with her in hand, because with Nakia, she does her job that way too. You are running 3 4-drops, thus the Zabu and Surge. You would very much like chunk your Enchantress to get down to 3 for the last turn. Gwenpool is still a very, very powerful turn 3 play for this deck, as well as that. Outside of that, you're just happy to get the extra benefit, right? A free 3 Clea feels a lot better than a 1-cost Clea. Mobius being able to turn off opposing surges, but also especially good if it costs 2, and you can play it with like a Zabu or with a Merlin spell. Merlin obviously is a card you really want to get out. And Mysterio will end your surge chain, but it will have 1 power on the clones, which can often mess up opponents' plans. If they don't know, that's how it works. Merlin is amazing here. A used Clea, a used Zabu is not enough power that you're not happy to shove it in the deck for 2 extra energy, turn your endgame into a Wiccan play. You can also obviously change locations with him, and just turning like a used Shangri Enchantress into a 5-drop is absolutely incredible. Used Nakia or Mobius into a 4-drop is also, or Red Guardian even, all really, really, really strong plays that can win you games of Marvel Snap that would be unexpected, and your opponent cannot possibly necessarily play around. Then we have Mysterio. Mysterio is the perfect target for that shove a card back in the deck. If it's not hit by Gwenpool, if it's hit by Gwenpool, you get a mini Doctor Doom. But if it's not hit by Gwenpool, not hit by Surge, not hit by Nakia, etc., then you are perfectly happy to throw those clones back into the deck or turn them into 3-drops to just turn them into power. They're very, very useful. In addition, obviously, playing them on turn 5, it gives you a 3, all alone, gives you a 3/10 Sasquatch on turn 6, which is huge. Red Guardian's main target for this list is Mobius. It's a great card, just as a control piece to have. We are running a control deck of Red Guardian, Shang, and Enchantress, but Red Guardian is really, really here, as Enchantress is, to kill Mobius, get rid of also like stuff like Iron Man or Cerebro that allows opponents to go over the top of you. Mobius is another card that prevents opponents from going over the top of you. Decks like Negative really want that extra power. They really want to see that extra ability to do something, and having access to Mobius stops that. Nakia is here largely for Clea, but the extra power of Nakia is just useful. I think the card is honestly kind of slept on. It's usually playing for a 3/6, 3/7 in power. Everyone's currently going crazy because that's what Ironheart does. Nakia does the same basic thing. Shang and Enchantress, power and ongoings must be controlled. Gwenpool is mainly trying to hit Mysterio, but hey, anything that can make this deck more unpredictable is happy. And then Sasquatch, you play a Mysterio, a Flames of Faltine, that's 3 energy, and a Surge, or a Merlin, or whatever, or a couple of Merlin spells. And you got like a 1-2-10 on the last turn. It's obviously a ton of power and capable of winning you a game of Marvel Snap. Alright, so this is the current highest win rate Clea deck in the low 60s. Not a ton of sample size here. Clea seems to have been one of those cards. I shouldn't be doing this video because Clea is one of those cards that people aren't enjoying. Because I'm having so much fun with all these decks, I feel like I had to do a video on her. I'm not telling you to get her. I'm telling you I am personally having an absolute blast with her and winning a lot of games of Snap with her. There's the deck from yesterday's video that has been my personal most successful, but I've had a lot of success with 2 of the 3 decks in this video. I haven't actually had a chance to play the third, but it's the one I'm most excited to try. So turn 1, you want Zabu over Clea, to choose Surge over Merlin, although if you don't have a 3-drop you're dying to play, you'll go Merlin, so you can go Surge Merlin on 3. Nakia, Mobius, or Merlin Spell and Surge are your turn 3 play. Turn 4, we can go Gwenpool over 2/2, and we snap based on what Gwenpool hits. Turn 5 is Mysterio and Spells, and if we think we can throw Prio and have Shang or Enchantress and Sasquatch, we can usually snap there. Turn 6, Sasquatch and Shang or Enchantress. Once in a while, once in a blue moon, thanks to Zabu and Surge, and just a Mysterio and a bunch of spells, you'll be able to go Sasquatch, Shang, and Enchantress. And just feel completely broken. This list is kind of awesome. Props to Switch Ninja for coming up with the core of this, and whoever decided to update it this way, maybe Cam Best, maybe someone else, I honestly don't know. I'm busy trying to move, so I think that this list is a freaking monster. It's really, really fun, really, really strong. The best home for the control pile is still sort of up in the air, but a lot of people are playing the Sarah version that we featured in, I want to say, Sunday's video, as the best version of the deck, maybe Monday, whatever, one of the two, as the best version of the control package to play, the Shang Enchantress, Red Guardian, Shang Enchantress, whatever, Shadow King type decks. A lot of people are running the Sarah version with Monkey. Mobius really, really does mess that up pretty badly. Having your own Shang and Enchantress in this version and Sasquatch to go over the top, this is a really good shout into the current meta game. Even, like, I think the best deck probably right now, or the most played at top deck, every time I play anyway, I'm running into Amelia Victoria hand, having access to Enchantress, having access to Red Guardian, and then having these big cards that go over the top. This one's for real, for sure. Hey, before we go forward, if you're willing to, please hit that sub button, like, and comment. It means a lot if you help support the channel. We're almost at 22,000 subs. Please help us get over the top, and in return, we'll give you 7 days a week of Marvel Snap videos. We never miss a day, even when I'm moving literally across the world. Hit that sub, like, and comment. In addition, this week is our last Merlin giveaway, so if you want a Merlin, all you can do is sub, like, and comment. I'll tell you what comment to leave later this video. Next up, we got Butt Galactus. My current in-game name in Marvel Snap is Butt Enjoyer. It was voted on by my chat during our subathon, our streamathon. Butt is one of the best Marvel Snap players in the world. If you watch the first Golden Gauntlet, he's the person who played that strange Hulkling deck to the top 4. He's also, we host our own giant league tournament of hundreds of players every other month, and Butt has won 3 of the, like, 7 or 8 of those that we've ever hosted. Butt isn't, I think actually 6. So I think Butt has won almost half of those that we've ever hosted. He's one of the best Marvel Snap players in the world. He's finished as high as number 4 on the Internet leaderboard for a season. And he plays the weirdest things in the world. So this deck, straight up, you have to be a somewhat mad genius to play. You have to be Butt, you have to be Splat, you have to be one of that type of player to play. But this is too cool not to feature. I couldn't help myself featuring this as the key deck, because it's a freaking, like, Zoo Galactus thing, and it's wild how much sense this makes in, like, 18 weird combos. But, like, never streamed, but he is at twitch.tv/ButtSquad888 if you want to go check him out. For this deck, we need Clea, Galactus, Marvel Boy, Merlin, Black Swan, Strange Supreme. Reasonably expensive deck, I know. JTF can be Jeff, but JTF is phenomenal. Scratch can be Nebula, that's actually not a huge loss. Hope can be Luna, and Surge can be Jennifer Kale. I think Hope is reasonably important here. Alright, so Kitty Pryde is here for 2 reasons. She takes a Marvel Boy buff, which is nice, and she really is good at jumping on Hope Summers to get extra energy in a repeatable way without clogging that lane. That is what she's here for. Clea has a simple use. I'm just going to tell you the straight up Clea combo right now. So Clea's basic combo is you go Joaquin Torres, you get Clea buffed a couple times, ideally with Merlin, right? Ideally with Marvel Boy, because you don't have another way. So you get Clea down, you buff her a couple times. You put Joaquin Torres alone in the lane, and then you just drop 2 or 3 not images of icon, Flames of the Faltine on Joaquin, and then you use the Merlin spell that shoves Joaquin in the deck, and then you play Galactus, and then you win. Because their opponent has a billion negatives there, they're getting -6 for each Flames of the Faltine you play there, and then that lane is suddenly empty, so you have a free Galactus lane. That is the main use for Clea. You can also just win games through Clea, right? This deck does not have to win through Galactus, it wants to. Strange Supreme is still reasonably big in a lot of matchups and can take a lane. Meanwhile, you can take off basically a billion power using like Clea Black Swan combos in the deck, and Marvel Boy is still like a 3/14. Nicholas Scratch, if you're going to play 3 of those spells, like let's say they stop Galactus, but you have played 4 spells, right? You have just a 1/6 Nicholas Scratch. They'll take a 1/6, and the extra power there is great. It's obviously also buffed by Marvel Boy, so you end up with like a 1/8, 1/9 Nicholas Scratch, and now you have a potential lane winner. Strange Supreme's main combo here is Debris, but there is just enough crap in the metagame that Strange Supreme is fairly useful. But one of the things you can do is, like, if you didn't watch this video, and your opponent plays Strange Supreme and Debris, you know what card you're not playing around? Yeah, that's right, Galactus. And as you're not playing around Galactus, Strange Supreme eats a rock in a side lane, gets reasonably big, helping you potentially win a location, and then Galactus wins the next game. Torres is here almost entirely for the Flames of the Faltine, but it also is very, very good with Merlin himself. Being able to change a location, giving Merlin +4 power is really nice. Being able to take a card and give it +2 in cost is very, very nice. Being able to shove a card back in the deck for the extra energy, obviously Joaquin Torres is just a really, really nice tool for this deck. Making things cheaper is good, so Surge is here. She's just the generic best 2-drop, and so she goes generically best in the decks. It's between her and Merlin. We've already sort of talked about Merlin, so let's skip him. Black Swan is sort of, lets you do a lot of this combo on the last turn, right? Black Swan lets you say, I've got a Joaquin Torres in a lane, I'm going to play a Flames of the Faltine, and then I'm immediately going to play the chuck a card thing all for free, right? And then I'm going to Galactus that lane. And my opponent's avoiding it because once your opponent knows what you're doing, it's really hard to play in that Joaquin Torres deck without Luke lane, because they're going to end up with like a -6 to -12 in that location, right? So that's really, really, really strong. Swan giving you the ability to do that. Also, the ability to just get your cards down is really nice. Marvel Boy has only 3 real targets in this list. As my throat gets a little sore. Excuse me. Except that you also have Debris, and using Debris as an extra target, Debris is really, really nice for this. It helps you get multiple uses out of Marvel Boy in a really cool way. Hope gives you the option to Galact on 5 and have the extra energy you need to do the whole Galactus on 5, excuse me, and the extra energy to use all the other stuff you want to do on turn 6 with Galactus, and then of course Galactus is the Alright, Merlin and Clea are the secret to Galactus in this deck. So Clea over Scratch over Kitty for turn 1. Turn 2, we're going Marvel Boy over Surge over Strange, which is more likely to JTF. Turn 3, we're usually going Marvel Boy, assuming we have a Clea out, assuming that we have some combos out, or we can do a Debris type thing, or we can play Hope. And those are generally better than Debris, but we can still play Debris, especially if we have Strange Supreme. His value goes up. Turn 4, Swan and JTF or Strange Supreme, and we keep going. We can also do a 3+1 there if we must. Turn 5 is the same as 4. We want to trigger Swan and get some -3s going on JTF if we have enough of them. Turn 6, we put JTF in the deck with Merlin, and then we Galactus, or we eat something with Strange Supreme, and then we Galactus, or whatever, Galactus, win the game. If we're not trying to win through Galactus, remember that you can just try and go wide, make your Nicholas Scratch huge, let your Strange Supreme be huge, and hopefully the little bit of clog and negative power from Clea is able to win. That's not the most standard game plan. You do want to win Galactus, but you can win multiple ways, and this deck is kind of a beauty at doing that. Splat has another version of Galactus, Clea. I just think that combo is too cool to not go crazy for. I'm so sorry. I won with it a couple times. I didn't have time to play it a ton. Straight up. I've been busy moving, but I played the first deck a ton. I played yesterday's deck a ton. I played this one a bit, and I had a freaking blast. Just the time of my life. Give this one some run. I think you'll really enjoy it. Before we go forward, come check out the stream at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer. Tonight I will be live. We will be streaming the recording of the podcast, so if you want, please be there for that at twitch.tv/PulseGlazer at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. In addition, our season pass question, if you'd like to win Merlin, if you could visit anywhere in the world, where would it be? Ideally somewhere you've never been, not somewhere you've been. I'm not sure what my answer is right now. Actually, I do know answer. It's probably the Hainan Island in China because one of my best friends lives there and I can't really get in touch with him because China's VPNs, yada yada yada. And I would love to just randomly show up there and just like be in the Hawaii of China and visit one of my friends. So that. We're giving away a PAX code this week. Again, if you follow me at youtube.com/@comicbookclick, you'll have a chance to get that. Go check out my Clea video there. Our final Clea deck of the day is Owie's Clea Bounce. This is the one that I'm dying to play that I haven't played. Also, please note, Bounce is a total misnomer. There is no bounce in this. This plays exactly like a bounce list, and like a bounce list seems really, really cool to me, and I'm very excited to play this list. This is one of the higher win rate Clea decks in the game. This one is obviously vulnerable to some locations and Mobius and stuff, but it is very strong. You can find Owie at twitch.tv/Owie with 5 eyes. He is French, and he is awesome. This deck needs Monkey, Swan, Werewolf, Clea, Marvel Boy, and Merlin. Again, Clea decks are expensive if you are a lower CL player. Don't even look at this card, but Clea is really, really good as like a late game piece to add some spice to your life. Nicholas Scratch and Nico can be Rocket and Iceman. Let's talk deck. So Hood gives you demons. Demons are good. You're only really getting one demon, but you do have Bast to make that not a problem, or Nico to not have to deal with a -3. Those are your general goals to deal with Hood. Merlin gives you a third way to either shuffle into the deck or turn it into a 2-drop. Bast is basically all upside here. We don't run Beast. It is literally a upside on every single card except Monkey and Werewolf, and and Merlin, and I guess Swan. And so, but it's even on those. There is no downside to playing Bast in this deck. It's just a great card. Clea has to get hit by Marvel Boy here, right? I guess it could be hit by Nico, but it's generally really being hit by Marvel Boy. Your goal is to get some Flames of the Faultine that you can play late game after Black Swan to play with your Monkey and move around your Werewolf. Obviously, as you're doing this, Nicholas Scratch gets reasonably big. Again, we play that 1/5, 1/6. We very often play a 1/5 or 1/6 Rocket Raccoon in bounce. Nicholas Scratch is doing the same thing, except sitting on the board. We're not bouncing here. Miko is just a brilliant utility card, changes locations, copies important cards away. Swan is probably the most important card in this deck. If you can get like 2 or 3 ones out, play Marvel Boy, play Bishop, and then you get Black Swan for the last turn of the game with Mysterio, Monkey, and a bunch of free ones, you're going to town. She will, in fact, make the Clea spells and the Merlin spells free. Merlin gives you something to do with the Mysterio clones. Should you Mysterio not be basted, you can keep the basted Mysterio clones. They will keep their 3 power. But otherwise, Merlin gives you something to do with them, gives you some location answers, and obviously moves the Werewolf. Marvel Boy should play for a 3/14. Bishop's like a 3/11, so those 2 cards are incredible. Monkey is like a 3/11, and Werewolf's like a 3/17. So you just play all these power 3s and watch your 1 scale up through Marvel Boy. So I love Bounce. I love Bounceless Bounce. I want to play this list real bad. This is the only one I didn't try, but the win rate's more than good enough to share. Turn 1, Clea or Bast. Turn 2, Merlin over Swan. Turn 3, Marvel Boy over Werewolf or Bishop. Turn 4, Swan plus spells. If we're getting Swan out, there's no Mobius now, we can snap. Turn 5, another 3 and trigger Swan. Turn 6, free 1s, Mysterio and Monkey. Bada bing, bada boom. We win cubes. I don't know. I love this list. I want to play the crap out of this. I cannot wait to get to this. So, yeah. Play this list. If you like Bounce at all, play this list. If you'd like to see some gameplay for these lists, I have been obviously struggling to stream as I'm getting ready to move, so please check out the stream team. Today is Thursday, so the King of Canada will be streaming at about 12 p.m. Eastern. He will try out these decks. Question of the day. Models Mod Supreme S. Do you think Sanctum would be received worse if it didn't have the Fast Track bug? The bug where the charms you get from reaching a rank get you to the next rank. Everyone did not get that bug. For example, I did not get that bug. I have not enjoyed Sanctum, and it's not necessarily the mode's fault. It's just that the mode has become extraordinarily samey. We know what's best in that mode. We know Guardians is best, and everything is sort of built around that. But still, like 7 out of every 8 games feel like they're Guardians games, and it's just not fun to play for that reason. I think part of the reason that Sanctum has been received well is not actually that bug. I think the people who are complaining a lot kind of moved on from Snap. They've either quit or aren't really playing Snap. I know a lot of my community that was really, really engaged has been less engaged with the mode, less engaged, less caring about this kind of thing. I don't have internal metrics, but my guess is that Sanctum is not getting the backlash because people are just tired of complaining about things when Second Ender doesn't seem to care. They're going to have to show us they care really, really soon. Turn to your support on our Patreon. Come with honor and thanks. Please check out patreon.com/snapjudgments. First, thank you to JonesySnap22, our patron of the month. Please remember to check out his YouTube at that exact name. Thanks to Abigail Gilson, Mandatory Burnout, It Regardless, LAB Inc., I Am Frostman, Jota Navarrete, Primed Ryan, Ryanberg, or Ryanwood Snap on YouTube, Ryan Wrench, Caretix Lee, Koire, Kazushi, Archangel 3K, Black Dahlia, Profros, The Goat Seeker, Goatsea, Code, Hallowed, Only Fox, Synth, Fat Nick, Absolute Shannon, Nightmare, Dirty Casual, Mr. Kerfuffle, Cables, Ginger Prime, Philly, Haplo, Kenny Loggins, The Danger Zone, The Bizza, Black Jeebus 23, XHG and Skippy G, Rhyming Friends, Jessica Gamble, Subjust, Mr. Slush, The King of Bros, Bro, The Great Kazoo, Werewolf O, Steve-O, 131, Kev, Hoda, Clam, Colonel Foreman, Rob Silverman, David Dewey, Kill, Steven, Brian Kaufman, Nate Martin, Jason B, Mr. Craig, Starry, Matt V, Corey, Corwin, John Q, and Jimmy McHugh, Real Name Town, bled into Q-Town there. Yist out a sage, one big man, Milkman for reals, Cactus Jack, Aretzer, Yo Marco, Ted Bro, Quid Pro Joe, Snap Decisions Joe, Dick Carlo, 220. Check out DeCarlo on Twitch and Snap Decisions podcast, please. Models Not Supreme, Biggity Boom Bot, Bricks 2-click, not 3-click, 2-click, Reen Goblin, Unibot B2, Blonde 56, Spectrum Mix, Wood Ocularis, Matt H. DJ, Mikey Edgings, No Frickin' Flex, Nick, The Greek Geek, Toxic Soul King, Zodrex, 74, The King of Canada, JJ, Den and Falcon, Falthar Newman, Two Ties, The Great and Lord Devs, The Pirate King Tucker, and of course, Gunny T, where T stands for Tonight, the podcast on Twitch. I'll see you there. We'll hang. We're going to talk some good Marvel Snap stuff. Peace.